So we're in Queens. We're at Korean Noodle House for our first. Today's episode is really exciting. It is Jjajangmyeon. Jjajang is black bean paste. Myeon means noodles. It's a rich dish, truly like deep fried usually. It's a mixture of so many different experiences and cultures, and I think I would describe it as Korea's take on Chinese takeout. It's not an everyday food, it's celebration food, it's Friday food. This is a video about finding New York City's best jjajangmyeon. I don't really have a go-to jjajangmyeon here. The fact that I can spend 2 full days just traveling around New York City and eating jjajangmyeon is a real dream. Our first stop of the day is Korean Noodle House. So let's go. It's time for jjajangmyeon. Okay, so usually the meal comes with a side of vinegar and soy sauce. Take it and I pour it over the onion. Sort of softens its heat. This came out pretty quickly. I think of the sauce less as a sauce and more as a gravy. It's like a big gravy over the noodles. Anyway, I'm really excited to have this. And the effort is to try to mix it. Look at that. Even a bad bowl of jjajangmyeon is like really good. This one's very good. It's like hard for this to not be just absolutely soul satisfying. I really like the balance of flavors here. It's not too salty, not too sweet. I'm looking forward to tasting many more across the different Chinese Korean restaurants in New York City so that my tongue can kind of decide what flavors I want to prioritize in my version of this recipe. So this next place is where everyone in my circle told me to go. A lot of people said 중국집. I'm excited. Let's go to the next one right now. What's really special about this one is it has fried potato in it. If you are frying the vegetables anyway, might as well throw in a potato. This is more savory than the last place, for sure. Fewer onions, actually. So it's interesting, like this one has greater variety of vegetables sort of filling it out. And the last place was all onion, which is more often how I've had it. So I love the idea of adding as many vegetables as you want. This dish is making me think about how I want the meat to taste. The last place was super crispy, which is interesting. The meat is less present. It's more about the vegetables in this one. That's cool. I learned a lot with this bowl. I'm really full, but we're gonna walk it off and then go to Manhattan. So we are on 32nd Street, which is arguably the busiest street in New York City, in my opinion. Koreatown, and this is Shanghai. This is a restaurant that I've been coming to for maybe a decade, and I'm gonna meet my friend Maddie, who's a food content creator and recipe developer. I'm excited for her to taste this jjajangmyeon. Hi.
How are you?
Good to see you. Thanks for coming. I'm here since like NYT days.
Really? Okay. All right.
Excited to try this.
I told you I didn't eat lunch today to
Right.
eat this. Really good.
Wow, that's excellent. My earliest memories of jjajangmyeon are from Buford Highway in Atlanta. What about you? Do you like what's your jjajangmyeon experience growing up in Korea and then coming to America?
So my earliest memory with jjajangmyeon is being a really like small kid, like 6, 7 years old, and then being scolded for having it all over me while I was eating.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
like all over my dress.
Oh.
But I think it's like been always part of like the Korean experience, really. Every time there was like a milestone, there was always jjajangmyeon, I think. And growing up in Korea, it was like moving food, so whenever you moved and you couldn't cook in your own kitchen, you always get jjajangmyeon delivered to you.
Yeah. Did you live in Korea when you would have to return the bowl outside?
Yeah,
Is that what happened?
I think the tail end of it.
Yeah.
So
Because they don't do that anymore, right?
No. They would deliver it in these like metal boxes. In the apartment complexes, when you like walk around, there would be empty bowls in front of the houses. Well, they'll come and like pick it up.
This is definitely the chewiest we've had so far. Also,
There's such a difference between like fresh noodles.
the not fresh noodles are quite disappointing.
They're too soft.
They're too soft.
It has to have that elastic bounce to it.
Elastic. Thank you for joining me. This was really fun.
Of course.
Cheers.
This is really delicious.
We're gonna finish our meal. Day 1 complete. Whew. We're at Hyeodonggak in Manhattan, and we're picking up where we left off. It's been a few days. I've been digesting, and now I'm looking forward to eating more jjajangmyeon all day. And we have Christine joining us. Christine is my colleague at the New York Times. She's on the travel desk. So have you been here?
I don't think I've ever been here actually. I've been to the one on 32 that's pretty popular.
Yeah.
But for me, jjajangmyeon is like the thing my parents order in Queens and bring back the sauce, and we eat it in Connecticut, which is where I'm from. So it's more of like a nostalgia thing I eat at home with my family.
Interesting.
Is it good?
Wow, super creamy. Super, not in a bad way, but emulsified with a lot of oil.
And the noodles are like
rich.
extremely al dente
Yeah.
in a way that is
They're good noodles.
really delightful. A pretty messy food. Not a food to order on a first date. Date like 10.
We're on like friend date, Jen. I thought the flavors in this were lovely. It was almost a creamy sauce in feeling, not flavor. And it wasn't like a gloopy, cornstarchy thing. Wow, delicious. We're gonna digest and then head over to Jersey for the next couple of bowls. Wow, Jersey is known for Korean food. Jersey is Korean food town,
The epicenter
the epicenter.
of Korean food.
짜장면은 몇 년 동안 만들고 있었어요?
저는 이제 여기에 와서 배웠거든요. 그래서 한 12년 정도. 그 짜장면은 이제 그 양파랑 이제 뭐 고기 같은 거 볶고 물을 부어서 이제 끓여요. 오랫동안 끓여야지 이제 양파가 이렇게 좀 물이 나오면서 그게 이제 더 맛있어지는 거고.
근데 이 집은 보통 짜장면 만들죠.
짜장은 만들어 놓고 그건 만들어 놓고 팔아야지 더 맛있어요. 또 양파를 오랫동안 볶는 게 제일 중요한 것 같은데 이거는 뭐 말해줘도 그 시간을 투자 못한 사람들이 많기 때문에 네 그거를 그냥 정성스럽게 오래 만드는 그 식당들이 제일 맛있는 짜장면 만들 수 있다고 생각해요.
Man, house-made noodles. Hey, this looks good. This is the least sweet jjajangmyeon we've ever had. That's a beautiful sauce. That's what dreams are made of. Look at that. Yeah, the flavor though, it's sort of like a cleaner flavor than the others. Feels like it comes from the vegetables. Whoa. This is like the kind of jjajangmyeon I would come to eat once a week. It feels like homemade, you know, in a good way. You have to come to Jersey for jjajangmyeon. No more words. I'm just gonna eat, I think. I love that everyone does it so differently. That's really the thing about this whole recipe quest. Honestly, when we were talking about this episode, we were kind of worried that they would all bleed into each other and taste the same, but they all just look so different. Okay, we got the house, like kind of regular jjajangmyeon, and it has kabocha squash in the gravy. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. There's a piece of squash. That's lovely. And the meat is ground, actually. That's cool. That's different. Jjajangmyeon's really like 50% onion. Onion is a really primary ingredient, and I think it's really fun that it's so Korean to serve the raw version of it. Not just the raw onion, but also the raw chunjang, the black bean paste that the sauce is made out of. As a kid, that was always on the table, and I was always like, why is that there? It's like that gross thing that adults eat. But now as an adult, I'm kind of like, this dish, it's so delicious, but it's so rich. You kind of need something to cut through. One thing that you do as like a Korean person is you take this and then you kind of like, my mom and dad are always at the end of the meal doing this, covering their mouth with one hand, you know. Anyway, thanks for joining. I'm gonna get back to my food. See you in a bit. So it's been 2 days of jjajangmyeon. I learned so much about how to differentiate your bowl of jjajangmyeon. Definitely not doing homemade noodles. I don't have the patience for that. I need to perfect the technique that's gonna help a home cook buy incredible fresh noodles in the market and show them how to cook them the best way. I'm gonna focus more on the gravy, but I'm gonna keep it simple and just try to come up with a version that pulls from all of these that I've had and that kind of celebrate New York jjajangmyeon.
One thing I learned in my field research was that a lot of these jjajangmyeon sauces rely on the broth that then becomes a gravy once starch is added. So I thought that chicken broth would be a nice replacement for the water, especially when you're not a restaurant that has to make gallons and gallons of this sauce. I noticed a lot of jjajangmyeon recipes call for sugar. Though sugar is great in a pinch, I figured, what about maple syrup? I like the darker, more complex aromatic sweetness it adds, and so I tried it and it worked really well. The final touch of this jjajangmyeon is julienne cucumber. I wasn't completely sure whether or not I wanted my version to have it. It's sort of that quintessential taste, which is a really classic addition, and you need a little bit of that aromatic cucumber right on top.
Let's cook my ultimate jjajangmyeon. Start with pork belly. We want the pork belly without the skin for this recipe. So now we've got this nice pork belly. I'm just gonna cut it into pieces first. About I don't know, half-inch thick pieces. Try to grab some fat from the other one. As the pot is coming up to temperature, I'm going to add the fat to sort of render slowly. I'm gonna add the pork. And just fry away for 10 minutes. You want it to get, nice and crispy. This is actually your opportunity to season the pork. I was trying to replicate the high heat 불맛, fire taste of jjajangmyeon, which is usually created in a wok. So you can use a wok, but I developed this with a Dutch oven. So you just really need, a nice heavy bottom pot so that you can truly develop that fond. And I'm really happy about this. It's rendering fat. There's not a huge pool of it. What it's really gonna do is fry the vegetables. And then in the end, just emulsify with everything and be delicious. So jjajangmyeon, it's really about the flavors of the very humble ingredients that these restaurants were using. And one of them is onion, but another one that I really like is cabbage. So what I like about this recipe is there's no removing meat from pots. There's no none of that crap. You just add all of it consecutively. I would say this is kind of medium, so I'm gonna go for a third or a quarter and see where I'm at. Same shape. I'm just gonna leave it. This gets cooked down. Those vegetables are gonna kind of be melty and really lovely in the final gravy. Yes, yes, do you see this? It's sticking. When your vegetables start sticking to the bottom of the pot, that's your signal to add the chunjang. Chunjang is the fermented black bean paste that forms the foundation of jjajangmyeon. What's really confusing is it's not often labeled as chunjang, it's labeled as jjajang, which always confused me because jjajang is the sauce that we're making. I think of the chunjang as tomato paste, and then the jjajang is kind of like the bolognese. I personally don't think you should use the kind that says 볶음 jjajang. This has been doctored a little bit. I think it would work in a pinch, but if you can, try to find one that just says simply jjajang or chunjang. This one says black bean paste fermented. I like this one. But they also come in these cute little boxes. So these are cool. This is the one I brought from home and it's already open, so I'm gonna use this. One, just straight in. Really beautiful. And I like to use a half, 2.5. Delicious. It's so cool the way it glosses the vegetables and pork. Look at that. You see how shiny it got? The chunjang is starting to interact with the vegetables and meat, and frankly, this would be so delicious by itself. It's like a stir fry right now. But you see where the black bean paste is sort of separated from the oil, kind of they don't want to be together. But what we're gonna do is simmer this pot for about 20 minutes. Not only does that get the pork luxuriously tender, the broth is also gonna gain so much flavor from all that amazing stuff in the pot, right? Jjajangmyeon has sugar. It just does. And it's the balance of salty sweet. I tried sugar, it was fine. I love maple syrup. I think it's the best sweetener in the world. 2 tablespoons of maple syrup really go a long way. I love maple syrup. Okay, so this just comes to a boil. I'm gonna lower the heat and then simmer this for 20 minutes. See you later. It's been simmering for 20 minutes. It's not 100% done yet. What we're gonna do now is raise the heat to high, but also we're gonna add some starch in the form of a potato. I'm gonna grate this raw potato. I only need a little bit of it. I want like a fine grate on the potato. I love this step because it gives you the thickness you want, but not the cornstarchy kind of gloopiness, which for some people is the taste of nostalgia, but I kind of grew up with potato thickening the sauce. And you do want to grate it. I've done this before where I just food processed a potato, and I just didn't love it. So I'm just stirring that in, raising the heat to high. As this finishes cooking, we're gonna let it like really vociferously boil. The potato will cook, it'll swell, it'll thicken the gravy. The little beads of oil and fat on top will emulsify with the water. And then we'll have a beautiful sauce. The reason you want a fine grate is bigger kind of slivers of potato will make it cloudy. So, yum, 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 so good. Frankly, if I were cooking for my mom, I would leave it there. But I think I want a little more salt. This is where you'd really just use your eye, and the longer it simmers, the thicker it'll get. Because again, you do want to cook the pork a little more. You want the pork to be like melt in your mouth. I love these noodles, they really work. It says fresh jjajang noodles. It's your opportunity to go to the refrigerated section and get fresh noodles. It will change your life. They are delicious. They are so different, I love them. So I'm taking out my phone because I want to time this exactly right. You know, follow the directions on the package. It says boil for 5 minutes. I'm gonna take them out at 4 because I like to leave room for a little human error. One of the bundles is obviously a serving, and boil it for about 4 minutes. Of course, I missed the pot completely. So I caught it all in one go, rushing to the sink. Just rinse it until cold. Honestly, like, just really get in there. Right, you're rinsing out the starch, you know what I mean? Like, really, until it's like no longer slippery. Okay, so that's my portion of noodles. Okay, this is gonna go quick. 1 dunk. That's it. And so it doesn't have as much starch on it as before we rinsed it, but now they're hot again. Look at those. Noodle people say this all the time. Noodles die. Like, you need to eat this right now, or quickly. Now the gravy. Oh, baby. You know, it's thick, it's glossy, beautiful. So just get a huge spoonful of it. Some people style it where it's like only covering one side, but when I had it at all the restaurants, they just like poured it on. You know, sometimes there's fresh cucumber on top. And now we just go in. See how well it mixes? Oh my God, I haven't eaten anything today. Really hits the spot, you know? I love these noodles. It makes me think about how far I've come in my jjajangmyeon journey, how much I've learned from other people, and they've helped me arrive at the version that I really enjoy. The building of flavor, it happens from very humble ingredients, and I think that's why this bowl is so special. Go forth, enjoy making jjajangmyeon at home. Remember to taste as you go, but for me, this is the ultimate jjajangmyeon. You can find this recipe and many more at nytcooking.com. nytcooking.com, right? Yeah. Thank you. Good night. Sorry.